as he had wished. Violet Auma, KTN.
And the Kenya Institute for Public Policy Research and Analysis, KIPPRA, is holding its 9th annual regional conference that is being held in Mombasa County under the theme Strengthening Value Chains for Inclusive Growth in Kenya. And now let's cruise over live and listen in.
Realities of millions of Kenyans. The central question before us at this conference, therefore, is where is Kenya's losing value along the chain? And how can we ensure that smallholders, SMEs, artisans, and workers capture more of that value? This is the very heart of the government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda, the better and the fourth medium plan. The theme of this year's conference is deliberate, timely and strategically chosen, aiming to drive conversations that explore priority value chains across the agriculture, which include tea, coffee, horticulture, and livestock, across manufacturing, including textiles and apparel, leather, agro-processing, and the building and construction sector, as well as emerging and future value chains, including those driven by the green economy and digital innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, KIPPRA was established to be the government's think tank that builds capacities and conducts evidence-based research, while translating it into transformative, inclusive, and practical policy interventions. Over the 29 years of our existence, we have strived to fulfill this mandate faithfully. Further, KIPPRA's research on the value chains continues to highlight both the opportunities and constraints facing Kenya's economic transformation agenda. Evidence from recent studies shows that only about 18.6% of Kenyan farms are integrated into global value chains, with most small and medium enterprises remaining concentrated in low-value domestic activities. We have identified that approximately 15% of small and medium enterprises participate in global value chains, largely constrained by limited access to finance, weak technology adoption, and inadequate certification and standards compliance. These findings underscore the need for targeted policy interventions to strengthen competitiveness and deepen integration into higher value production systems. KIPPRA sectoral analysis also demonstrates significant potential for job creation and industrial growth through structured value chain development. For instance, studies on emerging sectors such as renewable energy estimate that employment opportunities could expand to over 48,000 jobs through manufacturing, installation, maintenance, and innovation activities within the solar photovoltaic value chain. Similarly, value chain assessments in manufacturing and agro-processing highlight strong potential for import substitution, export diversification, and regional trade expansion under the African Continental Free Trade Area. These insights reinforce the importance of coordinated investments in infrastructure, skills development, financing, and regulatory reform to unlock inclusive and sustainable growth. This conference, in addition, is a to interrogate the role of devolution in value chain development. county governments are integral actors in this conversation and in working together to tap into local, regional, and global value chains. Ladies and gentlemen, as KIPPRA continues to support evidence-based policy making in Kenya and across the region, the question of institutional sustainability remains central to our long-term vision. In this regard, I wish to sincerely thank the national government under the leadership of His Excellency the President and the Kenya Kwanza administration for the allocation of 3 acres of land to KIPPRA to facilitate the establishment of a world-class center of excellence for public policy research, innovation, and leadership in East and Central Africa. This strategic investment reflects government's confidence in the role of research and policy institutions in driving national transformation. The center is envisioned as a regional and international hub for thought leadership that will nurture the next generation of policy thinkers, researchers, and development practitioners for Kenya, Africa, and beyond. Colleagues and delegates, we are equally grateful to the Kenya government's allocation of Kenya shillings 180 million to undertake feasibility study towards acquisition of permanent KIPPRA headquarters. This bold and forward-looking support will not only generate long-term savings on operational costs, but will also significantly strengthen KIPPRA's capacity to deliver on its expanding national mandate by providing a modern and conducive environment for research, policy engagement, stakeholder collaboration, and knowledge exchange. As we pursue this vision, we invite development partners, the private sector, and the like-minded institutions to join us in building a globally competitive policy institution that will continue shaping Kenya's development trajectory through high-quality research and evidence-informed policy solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to acknowledge the partners who have made this conference possible. That's as with the State Department for Economic Planning, represented by the PS, the Mombasa County government, our development partners such as KIPPRA, CGHAR of Australia, and under the Policy Innovations Program with ILO, UNICEF, International Potato Center, the Kenya Yearbook Editorial Board, the Hawaii sectors, among others. Your investment in this platform is an investment in Kenya's future. As I conclude, allow me to reiterate the importance of this conference in providing a platform for policymakers, researchers, development partners, and other stakeholders to discuss and explore the pathways to strengthen our value chains across different sectors. To our delegates, we challenge you to engage deeply, debate boldly, and leave Mombasa with ideas, commitments, and networks that will help Kenya build a sustainable and inclusive economy through its value chains. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my great pleasure to invite the PA State Department of Economic Planning, Dr. Makoha Parasa, to make his address and later invite the chief guest. Thank you. And Sante Sana.
Asante sana, Professor. Allow me to start by recognizing my colleague, FCPA, PS Karen county representatives in the House. I also want to appreciate the presence of the senators, Senator of Embu, Senator of Bungoma, Senator of Tharaka Nithi, and the nominated senator. Also appreciate the board led by Professor Wachana, the executive director, KIPPRA, the partners, and if you allow me just to mention the partners who are around, the KIPPRA, the ILO, the UNICEF, UNIDO, ICRAF, CODAID, not forgetting the representative of the Presidential Council of Economic Advisors, and all of the guests who are here. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my pleasure to join you in Mombasa for the 9th KIPPRA Annual Conference. And allow me at the outset to commend KIPPRA and the development partners for institutionalizing what has become one of the most consequential forums for economic discourse in our region. In an era where the premium on evidence-informed policy making has never been higher, KIPPRA continues to provide a rigorous platform where policy, data, and practical evidence converge to shape the development trajectory of our nation. Over the years, this conference has evolved into more than an academic gathering. It has become a policy market of ideas, a space where government, academia, business, development partners, and critically, our youth interrogate the structural constraints to growth and co-create solutions grounded in evidence.
Well, and with that, we take a short commercial break here at KTN News Desk. We'll be back in a short while. Don't go too far.